1 in every 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. 1 in every 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 36 will die. Cases of type 2 diabetes are skyrocketing. If present trends continue, it's predicted a third of Americans will have diabetes by the year 2050. Right now, it just happened. Every 33 seconds, heart disease kills an American. These are the shocking predicaments we face. These are America's killers.
Cases of type 2 diabetes have increased tenfold because of rising rates of obesity.
In the U.S. alone, nearly $30 billion are spent on breast and prostate cancer treatments, and over 4 million procedures related to coronary heart disease and hypertension are performed annually. Now we must ask ourselves, why? Deadly habits of Western culture consume us. Nowadays, everyone's busy. It seems as if there's no time to prepare a healthy meal or take an hour for exercise. Out of convenience, we turn to the fast food industry. We stockpile processed, packaged meals because it's simply easier. It's more affordable, more convenient. Then we get hooked. When it's so effortless, why change? In fact, the ingredients in these foods are considered addictive. Nonetheless, we all know we're supposed to eat healthier. This isn't news. But what does that actually mean? The truth is, our culture tells us myths about our nutrition. Myths like, fat-free milk is good for you, it fortifies your bones. Eat lean meats, they're a great source of protein. What if I told you that your dairy is doing more harm than good? What if I told you that meat is killing you? What if plant-based whole food diets could reverse diabetes, help eradicate heart disease, and even lower cancer statistics?
Dr. Campbell, you believe that even if animal-based proteins, meat, dairy, etc., are free from contamination, you don't think people should eat them?
No, I don't. I think the closer we get to a plant-based diet, I should say a whole foods plant-based diet, the healthier we're going to be for all of us.
The U.S. government will give you figures that 75% of the dollars spent in healthcare are due to chronic illnesses, and these are due to diet and lifestyle. Let's get rid of the problem, which is the sickness, which is caused by the food.
Countless studies have carefully examined the impact of plant-based whole foods in respect to the prevalence of heart disease, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. Epidemiological studies illustrate the prevalence of these diseases among cultures that eat animal-based food diets in comparison to that of vegetarian regions. Clinical trials show the elimination of breast cancer risk factors, the reversal of heart disease, and even the success of numerous type 2 diabetes patients that were able to entirely stop taking all medication. The answer to our epidemic is simple: plant-based whole foods. As if individual health weren't reason enough, our livestock is a greater contributor to global warming than the entire transportation industry. Ultimately, plant-based whole foods are just as much of a public health necessity as they are beneficial personal changes. Let's take a minute to picture a plant-based Whole Foods America. The year is 2040, and 1 out of 1,000 Americans is diagnosed with cancer in their lifespan. An astounding improvement when compared to 2014, in which 2 out of 5 Americans were diagnosed with cancer. McDonald's is out of business. Fast food is taboo, a thing of the past. Mass-producing, processed food operations are outlawed. Heart disease is down by 89%. Healthcare is one of the nation's smallest expenses, having been cut by 78% since 2014. More money has been allocated to education and the advancement of health improvement programs. Americans have never been better. In order to bring about change in favor of plant-based whole foods, we focus in on a youth community, our very own Bioscience High School. Before we jump into making a change, we examine current nutritional standings, stakeholder opinions, and related efforts within the school community. Both breakfast and lunch options provided at Bioscience contain significant sugar, cholesterol, artificial ingredient, sodium, trans-saturated fat, and high fructose corn syrup amounts.
So what positive changes would you like to see in the school lunch?
It would be good for the students if the cafeterias served less sugary drinks and less prepackaged food for breakfast.
I mean, it'd be really cool to have a salad bar.
Get more vegan and vegetarian meals.
I would like to see the food cooked here instead of being processed and packaged.
More variety of raw fruits and vegetables.
Well, I think probably less dessert items for breakfast. I mean, who eats brownies for breakfast?
The people have spoken, and it's clear they want change in what they eat.
When a kid is pulling his tray down the school lunch line, you see federal policies in action. There are burgers topped with cheese, the milk is heavily subsidized, but the vegetables and fruits, a little bit harder to find. And this is because the government contracts are going to particularly the meat producers and other producers as well. It has nothing to do with the health of the children. It has all to do with the financial health of the big agribusiness entities.
Current seniors have been working in contacting the district, planning to create a council at Bioscience that advocates for all health aspects of students, as well as setting the foundation for a Bioscience community garden known as the Backyard Project. Specifically, we have been working closely with Ana Hernandez and Gina Fiquera in order to merge their projects with ours as we have aligned visions.
Since the backyard and SWAT interventions were not immediately available for our team to begin working on, we decided to start the process of policy change.
Due to time constraint, we were only able to complete phases 1 and 2 of our initial plan. We presented to Bioscience administrators and teachers. The intent was to increase awareness among decision-making stakeholders within Bioscience. We felt we need to start the conversation on a smaller scale before reaching out to district in order to gain a greater perspective that would allow us to revise and adjust our work. After the presentation, all attendees said they strongly supported an increase of plant-based whole foods options at Bioscience. In addition, we received extremely helpful feedback on how to go about in the continuation of our endeavors in the following year. Lastly, we look into the future. Our team, in coordination with several other motivated students from every grade level, will be moving into the next phase of implementation. This phase will be centralized around the Student Wellness Action Team. SWAT will be working to fully establish the backyard and instill plant-based whole foods policy modification. Ultimately, we envision changes in Bioscience inspiring other schools in the district, Arizona schools, and educational institutions across the nation and world to be healthy and eat right.